And welcome back to Tales of Symphonia, episode 50. So I'm actually pretty sure with this one, by the way, that we finally changed the second disc.
Yeah, I forgot because it's fairly long, so it had to go off with discs.
Yeah, it had to go with 2 discs, and that's something which I find interesting, because it's like, my favorite RPG, Skies of Arcadia, was 2 discs for the Dreamcast, but that had bigger discs. But it was also like, I think that was was that 5th generation Dreamcast?
I can't even remember the generations. I think Dreamcast was like on the very verge, like just as the PS1 was getting ready to come on the market.
PS2, I think.
It was still going on when the PS2 was about to come out.
Let's see. It was released in '98 in Japan, '99 here. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forget how old the PS2 is sometimes.
Yeah, right? It was discontinued 2001, which is unfortunate. I think the main problem with the Dreamcast is they lost a lot of respect with the Saturn, and that kind of killed them.
Yeah.
And the 32X, and the Sega CD. They made some mistakes, let's just put it that way. But basically what I was saying, Skies of Arcadia for Dreamcast was 2 discs, whereas for the GameCube it was 1. They did have to from what I've heard, I haven't compared this entirely, supposedly the sound quality is not as good for the GameCube version, but I'm more familiar with the GameCube version than the Dreamcast, so I'm not positive about that. Hey, we have cutscenes again.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Like an actual cutscene.
Are you alright? Looks like you're okay. Good.
Well, we were okay. When you say something like that, Kratos, you're gonna jinx it. Come on. Something inevitably is gonna happen. Like, for some reason, Forcistus didn't die. I'm not sure why.
He fell down a reactor shaft or whatever it was, and now he just climbed back out, I guess.
Yeah.
With one arm.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he has a grappling hook in there, so maybe he just grapple hooked out of there?
You'd have to, I don't know, the thing looks pretty heavy, so you'd have to somehow, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
Did he say it was a cardinal as well?
I think so, yeah.
My cardinal only has a staff, he doesn't have a robot arm.
Right? He also has a pretty cool hat most of the time, too, don't forget that.
Yeah, he just has to take it off when he does math.
Yeah. Most of them also don't have eye patches. I'd bet you at least one Cardinal's probably had an eye patch, though.
But they don't have a robotic laser eye patch like the. Oh, that hurt.
That is true. Man, he's just shooting all of us. By the way, Lloyd did not like him shooting Colette, just so you know. By the way, look at Regal's face in the background. I think I actually left it here for a second just because it's like...
It's really awkward.
Yeah. I mean, nobody else has that awkward face, it's just Regal.
Also, don't know it was that easy to just stab him.
Yeah, just stab him. See, when you get in a fight with him, then he can defend himself, but if you just mortar him...
No, don't look.
Colette's a lizard now. Lizard.
Lord,
She part of the secret Illuminati lizard race that follows everything.
I wish they tied it into that, but no. Basically, you know the angel toxicosis?
Now do it.
Yeah.
Since we stopped it, but didn't stop it properly, this is what's happening to her. She's turning to stone. Yay!
Oh my gosh. It's just...
Oh wait, here, hold on. I put something in here that I think is going to piss off some people. Speaking of Skies of Arcadia, by the way. Like, it's not intentionally to piss people off, but the resemblance is uncanny, so that's why I put it in here. I'm sure it's not the only... I think this is an anime cutscene too, actually. This does not look pre-rendered. This is no longer an anime cutscene, by the way. Now it's pre-rendered.
That's a signal. Disciple of everlasting ice.
Oh, I cracked my neck. That felt good.
Hammer of godly thunder.
I don't know why she couldn't summon them all at the same time. There might be an in-game explanation for that, though.
Servant of Mother Earth.
Hold on, we're not done.
I would have thought it would have been something cooler looking for Servant of Mother Earth. But it's this weird... they look like... What are they called from Earthbound?
Oh, I know what you're talking... Mr. Saturn, yeah.
Yeah.
That does look like a Mr.
Walrus
Saturn.
and Mr. Saturn.
You're right.
It's supposed to be the Servant of Mother Earth.
You're right. Oh man, I'm gonna. Yeah, I see what you're talking about now. No, how about the Moonstone Cannon? Sorry, I really like Skies Arcadia. In case you can't tell.
I wouldn't have noticed the difference, to be honest.
Oh, what did you?
No.
See, it's pretty similar. Like, we're gonna get to Skies Arcadia, but not until after Deus Ex. I think we all want a little bit of a break from RPGs, if I would guess properly.
Yeah, or maybe maybe just a tonal shift, because a JRPG will be a lot different than a darker Western one like Deus Ex.
That's true. The anime cutscenes in this game are really short, by the way.
I'm guessing maybe they're resource intensive, or
I would
because
assume
it's
so.
like any kind of anime, it's like, costly to make.
You must
Yeah, but this is Bandai. They have their own anime studio.
Yeah.
I would assume just because it couldn't find the disc, because as I said, for the
What was
PS2
that
version, there
crash?
was more of them. So
Martel, I would assume. The out-of-control Great Sea.
Yeah, maybe.
Martel
let's see,
herself.
how much could the GameCube disc be? How much could? Give me a second, guys, because I'm really curious. Now.
Great seed is once again bound in the holy ground of
How
Carmel.
much could a
For
PS2
that,
disc?
I owe you my gratitude. Thank you.
Because, like, I think
It
the
seems that you have managed to save the great seed as
I
well as
want to
this
say
world.
that the discs could go
If the Great
faster,
Seed
but
is
they weren't
intact,
as
then I
they couldn't hold as
presume
much if I remember
Martel,
correctly.
who's fused with it, is safe
Yeah.
as well.
I'm sure that's good news.
There
for
was
you.
a
I wish I could
there was
say
a
the same
segment on
thing.
XPlay from I don't know how many years ago where they did survival of the consoles.
Right.
Colette,
So they
it
took a
looks like things have
PS2,
settled
an
down.
Xbox, like the original Xbox,
It's
and a
gross, isn't
GameCube,
it?
and they put them through trials.
It's disgusting,
So like, think
isn't it?
first trial was a drop off a 10-foot drop.
Hmm.
PS2 broke instantly. Xbox took a bunch of damage, but you could still turn it on. The GameCube was perfectly fine, just some scratches.
Yeah.
The second one, they took a sledgehammer to both of them. Xbox got
It's okay, she
demolished,
just
and the
Back to
GameCube
the village.
had some stuff like broken on it, parts chipped off, but it still turned on and worked
I
perfectly.
believe it. I mean, Nintendo stuff is typically built pretty sturdily. The only real exception I'd say to that is probably the DS line, because anybody that owns a DS knows that those.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the hinges.
Yep.
man.
The rest of the DS is great. Just the hinges are the awful part.
To meet you at Iselia. Farewell for now.
Bye, UN. On his own little DS there. And here we have.
Yeah, there it is, the
Yep.
disc switch. Do you have to turn it off then switch it, or do you switch it while it's on?
Switch it while it's on. So I think that'll be happening here in a second. Just as a heads up, I did include the opening cutscene again, eventually, only just to show what we. Because I was curious to see what we've experienced so far and what we.
Yeah,
haven't.
because we saw it in like the very beginning. but
Yeah,
we
and it's been
hardly-
50 episodes now, so it's
Yeah.
like. Some of the stuff I don't think ever happened, but some of. Yeah, as you can see now, it's just checking the game disc. And there we go.
I see.
So it is a pretty easy transition. By the way, from what I was checking, the GameCube discs were about 1.5 and PS2 were about 3 gigs.
Yeah, wow. It's amazing when you think there's
60 gigs
that's how much
now?
space could be fitted on it, but some things are like you've got modifications for some games on PC that are like this is a 4 gigabyte download,
Right.
We don't want to start a panic.
or DLC or patches, or like Tony Hawk's Pro Skaters patch where the patch is about the same size of the game.
I thought it was bigger than the game. Like, I thought the game was 1 gig,
It
and
may
the
have
patch was
been.
like 16 gigs.
It was basically the other half of the game they repatched.
After that,
You can't hear my fan, by the way. Can you? Sorry, I just turned it on.
the tower
No, I can't hear
Okay,
anything.
perfect. Just want to double check.
along with that monstrosity.
Yeah, by the way, the game does take a little bit of a tonal shift now since everybody knows that Colette technically
I don't know.
failed.
The
Just as a
Chosen
heads
never
up.
completed the ritual of regeneration. The Crucius core system, which controls the appearance of the tower, may have malfunctioned.
Like, it doesn't yet, but the
Consequence.
townspeople get really pissed off at Colette.
No, it's not. It's a tremendous
Oh,
shock.
we're
Enough
back.
that they burn the village down themselves.
After
The second
a giant
time, I mean,
earthquake,
it almost
some of the land
happens,
is full of
actually.
sacrifices.
Kinda, yeah.
The chosen will be held responsible.
We're so mad at this one person, we're gonna burn our whole village down in retaliation.
I mean, why not? A lot of the times it's been silly like that anyways.
But Colette is still alive.
See, yeah.
When people are suffering, they feel the need to place the blame on someone.
It's not a false statement, but that's not always true. But
I'm gonna go
it
see
depends,
what's
because
going on
I kind of get what he's saying, but I've recently been reading
For a mob, if
Yeah.
it's a mob of people that are angry enough, they'll blame somebody for
Right.
something.
I was just gonna say, I've recently been reading a book about Maximilian Kolbe, and it's like, I'm sure that would have happened, but it's like, you know, when he got sent to the concentration camps, he tried his best to actually make everybody feel better, and from what I understand, he did a good job. Like, even the Nazis, he tried to... And he did a good job with some of those Nazis, too. They eventually did repent. So, I mean, you know.
Yeah, I think one of the guys behind, or the guy that designed or built or ran or whatever, Dachau eventually came into the Catholic faith, and that he went on trial for it, and he asked forgiveness, and he was given his first confession by a priest that was at Dachau or
I believe it.
Auschwitz. It's one of those. I
By the
couldn't
way,
remember for the life of me.
awkward cut, by the way, but we're doing the intro. But I think you're right. Sorry. I'm not trying to interrupt you. I just... that sounds right. It's like, for people, especially for World War II, obviously their kindness knew no bounds, except for, you know, the Nazis. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's just really amazing, because it's like, stuff like that is... So obviously we've seen Colette get her wings. We've had two... That is not the final fight against that, and that final fight does not actually take place there, so I don't know why it's there. We've been through the desert. Did we cross the ship? We crossed the ship, but not on that ship. I don't remember any planes like that. This is technically foretailing the end of the game, so I'm not sure why this is here. Like, this is super late into the game. We've seen that. I'll assume we've seen that, because we fought a bunch of enemies. I'm pretty sure that's the Fire Town. I'm pretty sure that's Neo-Tokyo. I'm gonna assume that's Neo-Tokyo. I'm assuming that's, What's-Her-Face's town. We just saw that cutscene. This one's coming up still. I have no clue what this one is.
Well, none of this would have made any sense to me initially.
Right? I'm pretty sure none of this did make sense initially. I think we even questioned that. We've technically been to that city, I think.
Yeah.
There wasn't much for us to do at the time, but there is going to be a lot more with that city later. I don't think we ever fought an ogre at night with Sheena. That's...
Wow, that was... I didn't even notice in the beginning how they made Kratos look like an obvious enemy.
Yeah. That was when she lost her voice. I'm going to assume she said, I love you. I know we actually know what she said, but I can't remember what it was at the moment. That's coming up still, and that's a really cute scene, actually. So we've seen about 90% of this so far, I would say. There's still some stuff we haven't seen, but for the vast majority, it makes a lot more sense now than it used to. And then... just showing this because the title screen did change a little bit when we changed this too. Basically, the main thing that changed is it's at night now instead of during the day. So, not a big change, but I mean, may as well show it, right?
Yeah. Good. I'm not the only person that keeps.
Multiple saves.
Yeah, I keep like.
Oh yeah.
Saves.
That's the only thing that saved this playthrough a couple times, because when I realized something went wrong with the recording, it's like, shit, now I got... Oh, good, I saved.
Like, even if something isn't being recorded and I see somebody
Yeah.
just doing like, oh, here's my playthrough of this long RPG and they have one save, I said, if that corrupts or you do something
Right.
stupid, then
Right.
it's...
I have learned my mistake. The only time I don't do it anymore is like, you know, when it's a 3DS RPG and it's like, well, I only have 2 save files, so...
Yeah, I don't know why they do that. It's...
I think just because it does take up a fair amount of space, and it's supposed to all fit onto the cartridge, although I don't think it does. My guesses would be it used to all supposed to be fit on the cartridge, but now I don't get it either, because, as you said, they can just go ahead and put that onto the actual... I don't know. Nintendo's kind of weird about that, because it's like, you can have up to 32 gigs on your 3DS now, and it's not like one of the stupid Sony Vita cards, which cost... Hold on, let me see how much this cost.
Yeah, even regular PSP ones, I have the basic memory card, which is like 1 megabyte, and I think Persona 2 is almost a megabyte itself.
Yeah, let me see. Oh, the 64 gigabyte PlayStation Vita memory card, $90.
And it's right now too.
Yeah, which is October 8th, 2017. Now let's see, because I'm pretty sure Ace DHC memory card, because that's what can fit into a 3DS. 32 gigabytes is the maximum, like, official amount. Oh, look at that. The 32 gig is $22. Huh. And that's for, like, a fast one, if you want it to move really fast. I also see one here for $14. So, you know. I like my PS TV, mostly. I just don't like how many visual novels it has, as well as the price of the memory cards. Those are my two biggest complaints. Because, unless you like visual novels, you're not getting much use out of it.
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of the games for it were visual novels or RPGs that weren't too intensive.
Yeah, like, there's some really good games for it. Like, they've released, Freedom Wars is pretty fun. I still need to finish that, but, I don't know. They re-released Disgaea 3 and 4. I've been working on those.
I think they put one of the Resistance games on there as well. There were a couple games that were originally on the PS3 that I think they ported to PS Vita.
Same with the PS2, because obviously, Persona 4.
Oh, yeah. Well, Golden itself was just for the Vita. They changed a bunch of stuff around in Golden.
Like they got Chie's better voice actress. Them spider words.
That they added some other random character that I don't even know. They rebalanced stuff. You can't go through the whole game with the same party, which is what I did. I used the same 3 people that I started with and left everyone else to the side just because.
I've mostly been doing that still. Like I've basically just switched in characters I liked because I replaced Ryuji with Kanji because Kanji's better, honestly.
Yeah, maybe it's whatchamacallit. Yeah, maybe they may rebalance skills and weaknesses.
Now they're making fun of the half-elves again. Because they found out Genus is a half-elf.
Wow.
These people have lived
Every
with us
world is racist.
Right. These people lived with us for 15 years and we thought they were elves. But now that they're half-elves, they're no better than dirt.
Wow, it's trying to find a good example. It's just, I don't know.
By the way, the mayor was totally trying to burn down the village again.
Let's take the village and burn it down and then rebuild it.
Over there.
I was gonna say push it somewhere else, but it wouldn't have made sense if they
I knew where you were going, Patrick. I knew where you were going.
I have a right to protect this village by burning it down. Except for my palace.
Genius is the smart. I mean, I would probably say Rain's the smartest person. Just because Rain taught Genus everything he knows, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, Lloyd's dumb, but he saved me from some monsters.
Which, I mean, hey, bodyguard right there. That's good enough.
And Colette never cries. These are some... You've convinced me. I'm not burning down the village now. Now that I know that one of them is dumb, one of them's smart, one of them doesn't cry when they get hurt.
Nope. Mayor still wants to burn it down. But everybody else is yelling at him. That's the only thing that changes his mind. Everybody's yelling at me. If I burn down the village, then I can't get elected again.
Before I get... Oh, what would it be? Before I get impeached, I'll pass a burn down the village edict.
Exactly. Oh, you don't like how I treat the villagers, huh? I mean, there's no more restrictions for now, but if Lloyd and his company don't happen to go and take care of Crucius, then eventually some more, Desians are gonna come along and just take over that base again.
He was a member of the village, though. What do you mean he's like a member?
He technically lives on the outskirts, remember? Because Jerk doesn't live in the town.
I don't know how you... Because you figure a village isn't really walled, unless this one is, but I don't think it is.
Nah.
Like, I don't know how you live on the outskirts of a village that doesn't have a wall.
It's technically got a wall, but it's not like, a big wall. It's not like...
Because what would his address be? Like, outskirts of this village? No, he'd say, I'm from this village.
And they'd probably just leave it at the post office or something, yeah. The mayor looks sad and lonely. I wonder if we overdid it.
It's just.
I mean, our
I'm going back to his office. Stupid town won't let me
mayor...
burn down the village. Tell me how to do my job. I'll tell them how to do their job.
From a body bag.
I think I'm gonna take a bunch of worms and put it in their beds, or like put stick bombs in all the kids' desks at the school. Or just something childish.
I can see that, honestly. What did they say? I missed... Whatever. Alright, come on, me. Let's just leave the town that we burned down and we got kicked out of, but for some reason we're now allowed it back into. Oh, alright. We actually have a few things. One or two... Oh, just come on. Oh my gosh. Oh. Why do you talk to Zelos then? Oh. But nobody wants me to come back.
Good luck. Don't die.
By the way, it's such an interesting tonal shift before you talk to the mayor. Like, everybody is saying, screw Colette beforehand, and then afterwards. People are like,
Yeah.
it's alright.
I'm trying to think of examples, because there's been either in a show or a game where just you have like an entire town or a crowd of people that are so eager to kill somebody, and then they make some kind of statement, and now they're like, I guess we really do like you. Okay.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but it's like,
Sorry we tried to lynch you earlier.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about, but it's like, I can't remember any specific examples at the moment.
That might be a trope, but I don't know the name of it.
I could see that happening in a Monty Python skit.
He says that's what makes it so absurd.
There is people that knows what is really right. I disagree, sir. Typically...
What did he say?
He said nobody knows what is really right. I disagree.
Okay, Confucius over here with the no one knows what's really... Well, that statement doesn't make any sense, because if he wanted to actually be deep, he would have said everybody knows what's right to them.
Yeah.
Which isn't always necessarily correct, but it would have made more sense than nobody knows what's right. Well, then who knows? If nobody knows what's right, then there can't be right, because nobody knows what right is. So there's no right or morality. It's like a reverse.
Right.
I don't know, was that like Nietzsche or something? Or Nietzsche or whatever?
Something like that.
I never studied him, so I wouldn't know if that's...
Nonsense.
I know he's affiliated with nihilism and such like that, but I don't know if that's within his field of... It's just so dumb to say... I don't know. There's... No one knows, therefore there is no such thing as right.
Right. No, I hear you, and that's why... yeah. That's making me want to go on a rant, because it's like...
Because I can bug the old man, and he says, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, you don't know if what I'm doing is right or wrong, so... I don't know if it's right or wrong either, but I'm going to do it.
He finds you at home in bed with his wife. Nobody knows if this is right or not.
Nobody knows. No one knows if it's right for me to steal this money or burn this house down.
Exactly.
You can't tell me what's right, or you're telling me what to do. Because you're claiming you know what's right.
Nobody knows what's right. I'm giving you a taste of your own philosophy.
It's like an Ayn Rand novel.
Oh my... Or an Amy Schumer joke.
Both are equally terrible.
That is a true statement. We're going the wrong way. Turn around. We did head to Colette's house. Nothing happened.
Wait a minute, did we ever see her parents?
Her real parents?
Or is she an orphan? Like, I guess her adoptive parents.
I think this is her real parents. I don't know who her mom is, though. Like, remember we found out that...
Frank.
I'm pretty sure Frank is her real dad, because we found out that that what's-his-face was a liar.
Well, yeah, I know that's... whatchamacallit. It's just... It's so odd to see all these fantasy names, and then just...
Frank.
I'm Frank. Like, even... At least Lloyd is somewhat, like, a rare out-there name, but he's like Frank. Frank from, Human Resources.
That's what I'm thinking about. Lloyd, Presea, I could see in real life.
Really?
I could see Presea.
It sounds really fantasy.
You think so?
Yeah. Like, the only name I think that would ever be logical would be Lloyd, and like second behind that would be Colette. Everything else I think is like it sounds fantasy-wise.
Maybe you're right. Yeah, I was thinking Persea. I was thinking Lloyd, Colette, Persea, and with a big maybe on Regal. Maybe.
Yeah, you just have to have really pretentious parents.
Yeah.
Which, I'm sorry if your name is actually Regal and you're watching this.
Yeah.
But I'd still recommend a name change because people probably talk about you behind your back and say, "Wow, that kid's got a really stuck-up name," and it offends you.
Unless he's decided to go with the name, and instead of
Yeah, I mean, more power to you. If you're proud of your name, then go ahead.
he may have just gone ahead the exact opposite route and sticks his neck out for everybody instead.
Changed his name to Regal from something else.
Yeah.
More power to you.
I mean, hey, it's better than Trash Boat.
Or Apple.
Or I know somebody that named their kid Chicken and Spaghetti. So.
As in, you've heard of them, or you literally know someone
I met
named
them.
Chicken?
Back when
his name is Chicken.
Back when I used to work at the pool, obviously, people came in for swimming lessons and they had to sign their kids up, and this parent had one.
Is it a game? It's a game nowadays to see how many kids we can name something stupid, and then they're gonna grow up as a teenager and they're like, "Mom, why did you name me Chicken? Why did you name me Spaghetti? Why did you name me Apple? Were you hungry?"
Well, son,
I know you had cravings, but
we really had the munchies that night. But no, it's like I met these kids were both of the same parents. Chicken and Spaghetti were the same parents. So.
Oh my gosh! I'm hoping that is that all they called them, or was it like in writing? Because that could have been like nicknames.
As far as I was aware, it was a real name because that's what they put into this. We had to put into the system.
Oh man, I was really hoping you were gonna say that's all they've audibly said, because I was gonna say, oh, maybe it's just nicknames, but if it had to be written down, then
we had to put it into the computer system, so that's why I'm thinking it was a real name.
No.
Right?
How old were they?
5.
They're not gonna have I mean, kindergarten by itself shouldn't be fun, but by the time they get to high school, they're not gonna enjoy having the name Chicken.
Yeah, I mean, King of the Hill made a joke about that, where Luann was so hopped up on drugs, not like, actual drugs, painkillers, because she just gave birth, that she was going to name her kid Lasagna, and Piggy was like, we're not naming that kid Lasagna.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
I wonder if that was the case, and the people were like, it's a good idea. Like, the mother was on the painkillers after giving birth, and she's like, I'll name it Spaghetti. And like, great idea, Margaret.
Good job. 10 out of 10. This sounds like a joke that should be in comedy.
Hey, look, I was supposed to clock out like an hour ago, so I'm putting whatever you're saying down.
No, the sad thing is, I could possibly see that, but we'll talk more about weird. Man, yeah, I was gonna say there's some weird names too. We'll talk about that next time because it's like, wasn't there some names that legally had to be changed because they were super inappropriate?
Yeah, I can't think of. I mean, there's like one obviously.
I can think of one obvious one, and we'll talk about that next time. But until then, guys, Pax et Bonum.